Oh, all right. So now we're recording. We just had an enthralling conversation about our luxurious locks. We had a hair conversation from these two guys.
or
So,
lack thereof.
or lack thereof, we should probably say. Yeah. How you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, good. It's
Good.
a Tuesday. So for everybody, I'm gonna be um, getting on a plane tomorrow for the first time in a long time. So I'll report back once I get back. I'm gonna have some time off, and our program manager in Palo Alto, Nick, is gonna fill in for me for the next two Ask the Coach sessions. But I'll report back and let everybody know how that goes. It'll be a new world, new experience.
For sure.
Right.
How long have you had these tickets booked? Was this pre or was this after?
This
Uh,
is this is right. So my sister was supposed to be getting married on Saturday.
hmm,
So we knew for, almost a year what the date was. So we got the tickets at the beginning of March, and that was right when things were starting to, with the COVID stuff, was really starting to get real here in the States. And she had to push back her wedding to September, but we still have the tickets. I still need a break, so it's gonna work out. Get some beach time in.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling you last week. I'm burnt. I need to get some time away. I've been looking at the schedule and looking what I've got, and I feel almost a little bit guilty for just kind of leaving things go. And I need to just overcome that hurdle and see if I can get some help on a couple different things, because I reached that point when I'm brain fried that I'm not useless. That's not the right term, but I'm not very effective, and
Mhm.
I feel very ineffective right now. So that's my mind saying, you know what, you need to take some time away. But
That's
good.
that, that's funny because I was reading something this morning, and it was if I try to quote it, then I'll butcher it, but it was something along the lines of the river is the easiest to pass when it's getting started, right? When it's just like a small little hop over, and then if you let things go too long, then you're gonna get to some treach waters, you know
Hmm.
what I mean? And that can be applied to almost anything in life, right? And if we're talking about getting burnt out or whatever. So anybody, if you have any like time off that you need to take, or you're feeling it fitness wise or nutrition wise or anything in your personal life, just nip it in the bud and start doing little things.
Yeah, I agree. I have this thing, and I don't know why, but I enjoy accumulating PTO. I like being PTO rich,
Yeah, me too.
and I don't know why that is. And I went through a spell probably 2 years ago where I was maxed out and I was not accruing PTO anymore. So I would
Mm-hmm.
just take a random every other Friday half day just so I can accrue more. I'm getting
Yep.
back up there, and I've got the ability to. I just need to say, do it. It's
Right.
time to do it. So I need to heed my own advice and actually do that. I preach downtime to everybody, but yet that's one of the things that I struggle with myself, and I
Yeah.
need to.
Yeah, practice what you preach. I was the same way last year. I'm not going to be after this year having some things that I need to attend to. But yeah, I get it. It's a nice feeling to know that if I need it, it's there,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
For sure. Cool. Well, as always, guys, feel free to type something in the chat box, to unmute yourself and ask us questions, and we'll give you what we got as far as advice goes. You have anything that you wanted to ask, Mike?
No, I was just kind of thinking when I was kind of trying to figure out some topics to discuss today. I always like to have at least something in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
And two things. One, I'm really starting to become pretty interested in those computerized home gyms we've seen on commercials. They've been out for a couple of years. I think that they are probably full steam ahead in the R&D departments with these because of, current day and age. But have you used one of those? I'm referring to the ones they look like a tall mirror. They hang on your wall. They've got arms that'll come out kind of selectorized, and you could put it in many different positions. So anything from a chest fly to rows. They look pretty fun and
I haven't, but I can like picture what you're talking about. Is it like kind of comparable to like a home setup of like a dual adjustable cable and you can do all kinds of stuff
It
with it?
is. It is, but
Okay.
it's the electronic. Some of them look like a mirror. Some of them have an actual digital screen that will show you. So it's got, personal training options,
Ah,
or a coach. And I mean, the price point, it's not something cheap that you would just go out on a whim and say, I'm going to get this today. They're a couple few $1,000s, but
yeah.
I was just curious if anyone has tried one of those. I'd like to go to a trade show and just see what it looks like, see how the feel is. Is it shaky? Is it smooth?
Yeah.
Is 80 pounds really 80 pounds?
Right.
I'm very interested in that. There's several of them coming out onto the market now. I think Tonal is the brand that I've known for a couple of years, TONAL, and they've been around for a couple of years. There's a few competing companies now, so just kind of interested about
Well,
that.
that's definitely the future. That's definitely the
That's the future.
future of it at some point, right?
The
That's really cool. I would like to get a feel for it too, because some things are kind of rickety, and then other things that you're surprised how smooth the cables and stuff are. So that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm thinking in terms of people who live in a condo versus, I don't have space to put a workout bench or a squat rack or anything. I don't have any place for it, but everyone's got a wall that you can mount up. So the space footprint is tiny. It doesn't require a lot. It's not heavy. And it's a pretty versatile piece of equipment for just a small space on your wall. So
Yeah.
kind of interesting new area we're getting into there.
That is interesting. Yeah, any way you can leverage it and use weight against whatever you're trying to do. Make sure you
Mm-hmm.
have tension in those muscles. You can really make it work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have something more specific like a, you know, barbell bench press or a barbell squat, that's going to be something completely different. But for most people that are just trying to be fit or trying to be healthy or move a little bit more throughout their day, man, that could be a really cool option.
Right. Yeah, so those are going to be interesting to track to see how well they do. I haven't seen any reviews on them. I haven't spoken with anyone who's ever used one, but I'm interested. There was another question I had, and I don't seem to remember what it was. What about you, David? Do you have any things you'd like to discuss? Any topics or anything?
Um, I mean, we can always go anywhere with this, but man, I haven't talked to you much about sports being reintroduced, and I would love to just hit on that, man, with the NBA coming back, and I know baseball is still trying to figure out if they want to do a 72 game season or a 50 game season, and it's really interesting seeing this new normal for at least this year.
Yeah. With me, I'm more interested in the football. I don't do
Of
much
course.
basketball, much baseball at all. If it's on, I'll watch. If it's just background noise, but what an interesting year without that. I remember going back to early March, and there was discussion of we may actually play March Madness games in front of no one or in empty. Like wow, that
Yeah.
was undershot by a whole lot. So what's it going to be? Specifically football season. We're looking at September is when they kick off. Is it going
Yep.
to be, every third seed? Are they going to allow 50% capacity? Is it going to be virtual? I think so
Yeah.
much is still. I think they're looking at probably all avenues, and they're waiting to see how it plans out. You can't go all in on this plan. If this happens, now we're in trouble. So I think they're just kind of keeping everything open. It's going to be interesting.
And especially this year where you can't predict anything months in advance. You can't predict the next week in 2020, right? So trying to predict what's going to be going on in September is tough. But yeah, the options are crazy. Because I know with March Madness with college basketball, people couldn't believe that they were going to do it without any audience, right? And then within a day, they were like, no, the whole thing's canceled, right?
Mhm.
So quickly. And so, if there's nobody in the stadiums, that'd be crazy. I heard ideas like miking up the players to just give that realness, or some feedback for
Mhm.
people watching at home. That'd be really cool.
I think that angle will be taken care of no problem. When you look at PC games or all of the the video games, it's so realistic. The crowd noise that they could just take that, pipe it in, and everything is good there. But I think it's going to be a lot different in person.
Yeah.
In a fairly quiet stadium. Interesting.
I would like there to be like a social distancing type of deal where there's still people there. Maybe it's not jam packed like usual, but it would just make it better as a viewer.
And what does that do for ticket prices, though? Do we now buy our seat and the 2 seats next to us? Does a $60 ticket turn into $180 because they still need to have that revenue? How does that work? Or does the team take a huge loss and say, okay, we're only going to fill up a third of the stadium, so we're now going to have 20,000 people versus 60,000 people? And what happens to all that other revenue from the other 40,000 seats and the food, the drinks?
So true. And I can tell you, because I told you a couple weeks, 2 weeks back, I went to a comedy show, and obviously that's extremely different, but I've been out and about little by little, right? So there it was half capacity. But what the comedians did was they just did an extra show, and they kept the same price that it usually would be. They did one extra show for the weekend and kind of made it work for everybody revenue wise, so it was still kind of a rocking house, even though it was half the people and they made the same money. It's not the same situation for sports, but people thinking outside the box,
Interesting. And
yeah.
Interesting. How about
for NBA, I have to say this. Basketball, there are, I think, 22 teams that are in the hunt to make the playoffs this year, right? And of course, the first out is Charlotte Hornets, only team I really care about. So there we go. That's what it's like being a Hornets fan.
So there's 30 NBA teams, is that correct?
I think there's 32.
32. So did they just take the top 22?
I took the best records.
Okay, and then the other 10 said, "Hey, you go have a longer off season."
If you have no chance at making it based on your record right now, then being put at risk at all, it doesn't really make sense.
Interesting. And this is supposed to start up when?
Very end of July.
Is this official?
Go through
now?
October. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is okay.
Yeah, and then go through October. The playoffs won't take place past like October 20 something. I can't remember what it was. 27.
Okay. Well, interesting. And I think something I've been keeping my eye on with the protests and the gatherings, with everyone being not socially distant, you see a lot of masks out there. You see a lot of people unmasked. I'm wondering what this is going to do to current infections. Are we going to see another spike? Not necessarily a second wave. And if we do see another spike, then what does that do for all the sports? Because we're actually now seeing that, okay, we still need to keep that social distancing. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, if there's no spike, numbers start going up, does that open the door where, okay, well, maybe we could be, 2 seats out of the 3 kind of thing. Again, there's no rule book here, and everything, all avenues are being looked at.
For sure. Yeah. And it's definitely eye-opening going forward with just how, as a country, as not only as a nation, just everybody, how it's a thing. Like it kind of came out of nowhere. I know we had like SARS and stuff, I don't remember how long ago that was, but whenever there's these breakouts like that, you think that there can be a huge change in the landscape of what the human race looks like. So hopefully our leadership can just at least have that in mind.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. But I did think of something as we were talking about sports. I did think of something. So like I said, I'm going on vacation for basically a week. And I would like to know how you approach like maybe a week going on vacation as far as like fitness or nutrition goes, like how you approach it, or do you not change anything? Are you just completely off the wagon? And then also how you advice that you would give people, not necessarily that you would do, but advice that you would give people if they're going on vacation or taking a hiatus for a week.
Interesting. So we're health and fitness people. That's our job. That's our passion. It's what we do. We live it every single day. And while I exercise because I know I need to, it's good for me. I'm not one of those people who love exercise. So I'm not going to plan exercise into my vacation. To me, a vacation is getting away from work. Gym is the work for me. So I don't plan it, but there's times where we've had some really amazing workouts impromptu while on vacation. Good example, and one I won't ever forget, is we were down in the Dominican Republic. Amazing place, by the way. And
Mm-hmm.
the resort we were staying at, they had a very rundown gym. And we went in there and there was a treadmill, pretty broken down. They had rusted sets of dumbbells, nothing really mismatched. You might have a 15-pound hex head and a 15-pound circle head. You could pair up the weights. They weren't pretty. We don't need pretty stuff. And we ended up putting together a 30-minute, what I call an EMOM workout. And every minute on the minute for 30 minutes, you've got a certain quota to do. And any time that's left over, that minute is your rest. And we still use that. We always call it the Dominican workout. It was so much fun. It was not scheduled. It wasn't planned. We were out on the beach and thought, you know what? I want to go get some sweat. So we went and hit that. So all of my workouts are very unscheduled. If we're feeling adventurous and like we want to go sweat, we might do something, or go swim, go stay active. We're always active. We're always out walking around doing tours or whatever. But I typically don't say, okay, Monday, Wednesday, and write it down where that's going to be part of my my schedule. But same question to you. How do you approach that?
Yeah. So I'll start with like kind of the options that I have when I'm talking to people, because like I said, when I was asking you, you can be completely like how you're doing it right now. So if somebody's on top of their nutrition and they're on top of their workouts and all that stuff, you can choose to do that, but you have to know that you're not going to get the same experience with your family or the same like rest that you would experience, or just like enjoyability that you should probably get on the weekend. So even though that's an option, it kind of depends on the timing. If you're getting ready for something that's close and you have to take this trip, might make sense for you. Okay. And then there's like the complete opposite where it's like, okay, I've been on my nutrition, I've been on my fitness grind and stuff like that, and you just do nothing and eat everything. Like that's an option too. You're gonna have a great time. You might not feel great when you come back about that. And that's where like what I do comes in, which is like right in between that. It's like, am I planning workouts there? No. Am I gonna eat good food? Yeah. But it's all gonna be like balance. You know what I mean? Like I have some restaurants that I'm looking forward to going to. I'm gonna have some wine. I'm gonna enjoy some time with my family, stuff like that. But I'm not gonna like stuff myself silly every night. That might happen one night, right? And you're enjoying like tasty stuff. That's part of being on vacation and enjoying life in general. For the fitness, I actually schedule my really hard workouts right before I go. So like my volume's through the roof, doing lots of sets, lots of reps, all that kind of stuff. So my body really needs a rest when I'm going to take it. So I'll bring like a little lacrosse ball and I'll do some, some mobility work and stuff like that. I'll bring like a little band and just again do a little bit of resistance work if I feel like it. It's nothing really planned out in depth as far as sets and reps go. And then most importantly, like walking on the beach and just moving in general. That's a big part of my life in general. So if me and my girlfriend go out there, like we're going to be moving, we're going to be swimming, we're going to be doing stuff like that. And that's where you really get the best of both, where you're moving and feeling good, but you're still enjoying that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like when I'm exercising on vacation, I'm not on vacation.
Yeah.
But
Right.
if I'm walking on the beach or if I'm swimming in the ocean, I'm exercising, but I'm on vacation. So it's all in your perspective.
Yeah.
And, going back to what you were saying, I've been on the extreme of, I won't have a beer. I won't go out and have chips and salsa. I don't want to go out with my friends because I don't want to be tempted into something. I've been there and I've lived that and it was not fun. So I love that you say moderation. If you want to go have some wine, great. If you want to go have some amazing barbecue, that's outstanding. To not do that, you're taking away from your vacation, in my perspective. So I applaud you for that.
Yeah, there's a give and take for every decision that you make in life.
For
You
sure.
know, for us, if you're doing we're doing something right at this moment, and we're having this ask the coach session, and we could be doing something else, right? Anything that you're doing at any time is like an investment, right? So, if you're going on vacation, you really want to enjoy it. You really want to be doing some intense workouts that's going to take a long time and take away from your enjoyment. Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of vacation, we had plans. We were supposed to go on a road trip up to Glacier National Park this summer, and I always wanted to be there, or I always wanted to go there. I've never been. Beautiful place, but those plans have gotten thrown onto the back burner because of all of the uncertainty. We don't have anything planned this year, so um, I might just take a week off and just go in the mountains, go camp, just
Yeah.
go and get away. Fresh air is
That,
good for me. Mountain
yeah.
fresh air is good for me.
And we're forced to take some time in August too.
I know.
So
And that's a good thing. Forced time off. It's, it might not sound like that great of a thing, but it's great. I mean, for me,
still
like
time off.
like I was saying, I mean, sometimes there's times where I have to be forced to take time away because I feel guilty in taking time off.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's there for us. It's there for us to use as we need. I need to be more receptive to that. So yes, I'm looking forward to that week off in August.
Yeah. So I've talked about how like twice a year, like once a year I'll go to the mountains, once a year I'll go to the beach. I know you're more of a mountain guy, right?
Mhm.
Why is that?
I grew up in California. I grew up on the beach. Grew up surfing, and it was fun. But once I got a taste for the mountains are my place. It's my happy place, and I feel happy when I'm up there. It's the elevation, it's the clean air, it's the trees, it's the smell. It's everything. I mean, all of my senses are in play when I'm in the mountains. When I'm at the beach, yeah, it's kind of fun, but it's not
Right.
my senses. It's not pleasing all of my senses, and the only place I get that is in the mountains anymore.
Gotcha. Great answer. Yeah.
Mhm.
I really love both. I'm not really partial to one or the other. I take them for what it is, but it makes a lot of sense coming from you if you've done a lot of one growing up for a long time, and then you kind of get, grass is always greener type of deal, and you
Sure.
experience something else. You're like, wow, I've been
Mhm.
missing out on this.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah, I'm the
Got
same.
a
I'm the same way at the mountains though. The air is just different.
It's different. I've got a
Yeah.
friend who used to live in the mountains, and she now lives at the beach, and she's been there for about a year, and she misses the mountains. The beach is
Mm,
not, it doesn't do anything for her.
yeah.
So it's just, yeah, that can change throughout time. I used to love the beach, but no, I'm a mountain guy.
Cool.
That's where I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of cool being from somewhere where, you can kind of get the best of both worlds and you can take it. I definitely know that I was taking it for granted when I was there too, because when you go to Houston and it's flatlands everywhere, which I love this place. It's just different. When it's just flatlands and you're used to mountains and beaches and all that kind of stuff, it's a process getting used to.
It's funny. So when I went to school, 2 of my 4 years, I had an ocean view dorm. Like we would look out and you see ocean out there, you see dolphins, you see surf. It's just, I was pretty fortunate, and I took it for granted every single day because you're used to it. But yet we would have people from, schools from all over the country come in for like a baseball or basketball tournament, coming in from Nebraska or Iowa, and they're blown away at the beauty of the ocean. And what we see from our training room, our athletic training room, looked out over the water.
Wow.
And they'd be up getting their ankles taped, and they're doing this, they're turning around because they're staring out there, something that we take for granted because we see it every single day.
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely took it for granted.
Man, you can learn from that, can't you? You really can. And it's another thing that's applicable to just about everything in life. Especially, we've been going through this whole quarantine thing, and you can take the smallest things for granted. Like my drive to work, I enjoyed. Like I'm glad that I don't have that commute anymore, but I enjoyed just time to either rock out or just like let my thoughts collect or some things like that. Seems so small, right?
Mhm.
Um, but anything like that. That's why on our like upcoming Fitways, every Sunday there's like a walk that's programmed, and it's different every Sunday. One's like, take your family or dog or whatever, and one of them's just kind of appreciate the things around you that you would normally take for granted, like a bird in the sky or the sky in general. You know, it can be, it sounds kind of stupid, but you can take all that stuff for granted, even like a luxurious, beautiful ocean side, like you said.
Yeah, I think that goes back to what I was saying about senses. If it's not stimulating all your senses, you're not appreciating it.
For sure.
Like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah, man.
One other thing that I was wondering about, if any of y'all out there have actually gone back to a commercial gym with stuff reopening. I know it's different state by state, even county by county for that matter. I haven't. I don't belong to any commercial gyms or anything, but just wonder. I've been hearing stuff from local facility. Or local gyms, there's no group classes yet, but they're thinking about starting, where others they've got group classes going, and it's so different by state. Anyone on this call, have you been into a commercial gym over the last few weeks as stuff starts opening back up? Oh, David, you were in the doing the Murph at your gym. I heard about that.
Yeah. Going to be Nick says going to be tough to reserve a platform. Yeah, very true, my friend. Yeah. So I did the Murph. That was a little bit different because that was outside. They were just starting to reopen, and we didn't even go inside the gym. That F45 is now open. It's just it's like half capacity. I think they're at 50% now, and they had to add classes once again, like the comedy thing. They had to add classes because people are ready to get back out here, at least. Mm-hmm. And it's going really well for them. As far as now, that's kind of a specialty gym. As far as the commercial gyms around here, a lot of them are opening back up. I have a membership to one down the road. Haven't been yet. Just not going to do it yet. Not ready. Don't need to. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be interesting whenever we do go back to that to see all the changes.
Yeah. That's been another thing for me. Like, I feel like I've been a little bit sheltered regarding the returning to normal, because I don't need to be out there. There's nothing that I need to be going outside for. We've got what we need here at home. So I've been pretty reserved and away from the reintroducing back into society. So I think it's going to be a little bit interesting for me, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the thought of like you going to an airport, that kind of freaks me out a little bit right now, but I know you're going to be fine. So
me too. I got my N95 mask ready to
go.
roll, but it'll be, I'll definitely let everybody know when I come back how that is. I don't know what to expect really.
Are those required on flights? I don't know what the rules is on those.
I haven't heard anything about it being required. I expect to see lots of people in masks.
I imagine.
For sure.
Interesting.
Especially because the flights are limited, and so the actual flights are packed, right? Because there's not as many planes in the air. Even though there's less people, they're just kind of all crammed into these planes. So it'll be different.
Well, listen, have a great time.
Yeah.
Get some good time on the beach, some good sunshine, some good swimming.
Will do. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna have a tan, bald head, and just be ready to rock and roll going forward.
Keep that sunblock on that dome. Those things they like to get burnt.
I'm just kidding. Too much Irish in my blood.
As David was saying, Nick is going to be filling in. Nick's on the call right now. Nick's going to be filling in for David over the next couple sessions. So thank you, Nick, for stepping up on that.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, you guys will rock it. I'm looking forward to going back to the recordings and then and getting back to work after I get some relaxation. But thanks, everybody, for joining today. And then Nick and Mike will see you on Thursday.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
All right, see ya.